I made up my mind to do God's will. So I don't mind climbing these rugged hills. I've been talked about, I've been lied on, but I won't turn around. Gotta make heaven my home. Yeah, I'm turning down. I won't change nothing for my turn. I'm turning down. It's hard. Oh, but I won't turn around. Swear y'all, change nothing for my turn. I'm turning down. I'm beginning to get it hot now. Change nothing for my turn. I'm turning down. Wait a minute, y'all. Feeling pretty good right now. Is there anybody here feel like me? Now, Spank, are you ready to go? What about you, sophomore? Tell me, are you ready to go? Lady, tell me, what you ready to go? Robin, Terrence, big time. What about you, A-Tron? What about you, A-Tron? Boy, you better play them drums like you need a boy. I'm on my journey. I won't trade nothing for this journey. Love, it gets hard. Oh, but I won't turn around. And I won't my journey. Let me say it again, y'all. But those of you that didn't hear me, I got to tell you, I won't my journey. Wait 1 minute. Let me take a little further. I won't trade nothing. No, I won't trade nothing. Not my money. I won't trade nothing. Not my wealth. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world? Shine around.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Do right. Coming back at you. One more again. And you're just so glad to be in the number. One more again. Well, hope everybody doing good. Everybody doing fine. And hope the people were blessed and got a little more information for those who want to further their research into this Indian and Native history that the Do-Right been putting out here. And so we hope y'all been blessed on that little bit, and maybe hopefully we confused a few people because they got to go back and relearn some shit because they ain't heard the stuff that the Do-Right was saying, so that information sounds strange. And so it's going to make them have to dig a little bit deeper to change what he done said to even try to prove him wrong. Now, it's easy to come out and say that Do-Right is wrong, but you ain't got nothing to prove him wrong just on because you ain't heard the information. Don't mean that what Do-Right saying is a lie. And then, for those who have been going in and putting in a little research, hopefully some of the things that we said in that last series about the Yamasee Indian kind of tied some things together for them, and their research as we start to tell our side of the story. Now, a lot of y'all see Do-Right a lot of times come out and he got these little nice, pretty looking cowboy hats on. Well, see, Do-Right got to tell y'all that the cowboys and the Indian were the same people. See, they try to make you think that the so-called Indian, they just wore the little outfit with the little tassels in them and the little headband with the feathers. That was like ceremonial garb or dress. And that we dress like that all the time. That was something we did for different ceremonies, just like the Masons, when they have their thing, they don't wear the Mason uniform all the time. You see? So different organizations, y'all that been to college and been out to the higher learning, You know, y'all in these little Greek groups and y'all got certain little garbs and little pins and stuff that y'all wear, but y'all don't wear them all the time. Them for ceremonial. And that's the same thing that we did here as the natives or the aborigines is a more better term, but we use the word Indian and native so we don't confuse so many folk, but we talking about the people who was already here in this part they call the Americas, north, south, and the central. Nah, do right. Don't deal so much with a lot of information, at least not at this time, about the central and the southern part. You know, most of his information gonna take you back to the one that was in the northern part of the Americas. And see, what we trying to get the people to see is there is no way. There is no way possible. Okay, how you slice it up, how you grind it up and shred it down. It's just no way possible that you can be an African American. You just can't do that. It just ain't no way. Like Aretha Franklin said, ain't no way that I can love you if you won't let me. Ain't no way I can tell you the truth if you won't hear me. So, just to prove that little point, because when we put it out there, we got to say this and put this in there. Explaining, excuse me, y'all, how you cannot be an African American. First of all, Africa is a so-called continent. It's not a continent, it's really a peninsula. But for the sake of argument, we're going to say that Africa is a continent with a whole bunch of different countries in it. Now, when the people from over there come over here, they don't tell you that they're no African. They say, well, I'm Liberian. I'm Libyan. I'm Guananese. You know, I'm Sudanese. I'm whatever country. They identify with the country. So they don't consider themselves to be Africans at all. It's just fact now. You one that you know. Ask them if they're African American. Or is there African in America? They're going to tell you, no, I ain't none of that. I don't know nothing about that Africa thing. Because the continent, they don't even know the so-called continent as Africa. They don't even know it by the name of Africa. Those that's in the know don't. They don't even call it that. But they, anyway, they always identify with a country, and it's got over 50 different countries in it. So you got 50 different people, 50 different organizations that's there that claiming they got sovereign government. And then you come to the Americas. America is not a country. America is America is not a country. It's a continent. The North, the South, and the Central. The Americas. With a whole bunch of different countries in it. So the folk from America, when they go to other places, they don't say I'm white American. They say I'm American. When you go over there, cold across the water, you ain't gonna say I'm African American. You'll say, well, I'm American. Because the Americas and the Africa is supposed to be two continents. So ain't no way in the devil you can be no continent. So who are you? As Malcolm X said, who are you? What's your name? What's your national government? Because do I to show you on the book where it said that black folk cannot be citizens of the United States. Now they might not have been talking about the black folk with dark skin. Because do I showed y'all where about the 1775, black and white had nothing to do with the skin tone. It was a status in society. So the black and the white had nothing to do with, you know, what color you might be on the outside. It had something to do with something else. Probably whether you were rich or you were poor. And if you were rich and you had a little something, you were said to be white. But if you were poor and you had that, you were said to be black. And America was took by rich folk for rich folk. Care what color their skin is. And that's what we have to get out of. Tripping a lot of time on words and the thing that we see. That's why the good book said that Jesus said, if your eye be single, then your whole body is filled up with light. So a lot of times we don't see things out of our single eye. We see things out of our two eyes, and then you be doing a Scarface thing. Because your mind be playing tricks on you off the shit that you don't see. And somebody feel it, somebody don't. Somebody want to get with it, and somebody just won't. But anyhow, we got to put that little piece in there. But when the last time, when we got to talking about the Yamasee Indian, we got into a discussion on the Seminole Indian. And we said that the Seminole Indian was really like just another confederation like the Muskogee Creek Confederation. It was a conglomeration of the runaway people who ran away from the English colonies, from the European colonies, because they were English, Spanish, Dutch, all kinds of different colonies. Some Moorish colonies, some African colonies, whatever. But they were running away from the colonies. These runaways and the survival of a lot of other different tribes of people are Indians. Now we got to put this part in there because it's very important that the people understand that most of these people were dark-skinned people. Even the runaways from the different colonies. But you had a lot of Caucasian people that also ran away and were part of the Seminole Confederation. And then we got to talking about the different language between them. They were saying like the Muskogee Creek language was like a Mongolian language or a Stankard language. And then the Do-Right made the statement that there was another language in there. And he ain't lying. One was called the Hitachi language. I think that's how you pronounce it. Don't ask Do-Right how to spell it, and he got to look at his license and spell his own damn name. So don't have me spell nothing. But anyhow, now this Hitachi language, it really was still like the Muskogee and the Creek language. Because you got a trinity. When you deal with scarce book, especially like the Bible and the Quran, they deal with a trinity. You know, in the Bible give you the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Egyptology give you Horus, Osiris, and Isis. You still got a trinity. You see, don't be tripping on the words and follow the principle. You got a trinity, so you had a trinity of languages going on in the southeast. But they were the same language. They just had some words that were different. And then, like the Muskogee language, it was used like a diplomatic language. It's the language that we took care of law, that we made this different agreements with each other in. Everybody in every tribe or every nation, because we had to get out of the word saying tribe, like we're just a little small piece of, these were nations of people. Now, just like Africa got almost 50 countries or nations or different nations of people, you had different nations of people over here. Even in China, they just might call them states in China. In Africa, they'll call them countries. Same principle. If you look at the principle and not the words, like the right be telling you. But it was called the Hitachi language. It was the Hitachi language was mostly spoke among people in central Georgia, from like those on the Ocony, I think that's how you pronounce it. That's the river that run on the other side of Washington County, or Washington County, or Sandyville, we call it. That's the little town that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came from, down in the deep step, Georgia, y'all. But anyhow, the Ocony River, and then you had the Ocony River, and then you had the Ocmulgee River. Now, but between those three rivers, a dialect was spoke called Hitachi. But another confederation of people who spoke the Hitachi language was the so-called Apache Indian. And that's how in the so-called Yamasee Wars, the Yamasee Wars, or Yamasee, do right, I always say Yamasee, but the Yamasee Wars, that's how we were able to get the Apache to come along, because they spoke the same language that we spoke. And the Apache land was on the other side, on the west side of what we call the Cherokee. The Cherokee pretty much had the hill. And you had Apache was mainly up in western Tennessee and eastern Arkansas and parts of northern Mississippi, and then some parts of the northeast corner of Louisiana. But then you had the Choctaw and the Chickasaw all out that way too. These were the same people. I'm going to show you just how the language thing goes, so that you can get to see that all of these languages were all connected to one another. It's just like you got Hebrew and then you got Arabic. Arabic and Hebrew is basically the same language. In Arabic, you get the word Elo. In Hebrew, you get the word Elo, or Eli, like the Jesus said, Eli, Eli.
Here we go again.
My God, my God. But in Arabic, that word will become Allah. Same word. Just a change in the vowel system. And that's how we have. But then when you look into Latin and you look into Spanish, they are just another dialect of Arabic and Hebrew.